Hi guys, it's Fat Petrolhead here, and today we discuss transmission fluid. Should you change it, how often to do it, and all things regarding your transmission maintenance. If you check and compare different car makers' requirements regarding servicing transmission, you will find out that they have a very different recommendations. Some of them recommend to change transmission fluid every 60-80,000 kilometers, and some of them even declare that their transmission fluid is lifetime. For example, such recommendations you can find for many Toyota and Lexus models and for almost all BMWs. And let's start with the fact that there is no such fluid that will last forever. And if the car maker declares that they have so-called lifetime transmission fluid, it just means that they expect it to last until the death of the transmission. And if you want your transmission to last longer, of course you need to change transmission fluid and service it. But there is one situation when it is better not to change transmission fluid. We will talk about it a little bit later. Now we need to understand that there are two options of changing transmission fluid. You can change it completely with a special device, or you can change it partly as a regular maintenance. For complete or full transmission fluid change, you need special tools, and usually this method is not used as a standard maintenance. As a standard and regular maintenance, you would usually use a partial method, which is much easier and much cheaper. And within this method, you will change only 60 to 80% of transmission fluid volume, depending on your transmission type. And that means that transmission fluid, the new one that you changed, would be mixed up with the old one. And you shouldn't be worried about this mixing at all if you service your car according to manufacturer's recommendation, or every 60,000 kilometers in case you have this so-called lifetime transmission fluid. The only exception here would be CVT transmission, as it is much more demanding to transmission fluid quality than any other type of transmission. And here I would recommend you to change transmission fluid every 30-40,000 kilometers. And one more very important exception regarding transmission fluid change frequency is when you use your car in some critical conditions. For example, you use it on a track or you go off-roading very often. In such case, I would just make any maintenance 2 times more frequent. By the way guys, please press the like button if you enjoy watching this video, because it supports channel a lot. And now let's move on to the situation when it is better not to change transmission fluid at all. Probably you heard some story of a person who changed their transmission fluid and then the transmission went broken. And the reason for such situation is very simple. When the transmission fluid is too old and too used, then there are a lot of dirt in it, and some part of this dirt is circulating around the system and another part is just stored in some part of the transmission. And when you add 60 or 80% of new fluid that is working properly and cleaning the system, then it starts to circulate all this old dirt that was stored somewhere in transmission, and of course it can cause to the earlier damage for the transmission than even with the old fluid. In such situation, it is very hard to find some general rule, but I would say that I personally wouldn't go for transmission fluid change in any car that ran more than 150,000 kilometers without any changes of transmission fluid. And of course, if you don't know the maintenance history of the car, then probably you shouldn't go for transmission change on this mileage as well. And what I think we should add to all this information is that if your transmission is not working correctly, for example, you have some punches when shifting the gears, then changing transmission fluid wouldn't help you in 95% of cases. Just keep in mind that changing transmission fluid is not a repair process, it's just a regular maintenance. What can help sometimes in such situation when you have some problems and you are sure that the transmission fluid is too old is 100% complete change of all volume of transmission fluid with a special tool and flushing the system before it. Also, a big subject to discuss is whether you should make an adaptation of transmission after changing transmission fluid. While your car is in use, your transmission adapts to planetary gears wear and also to transmission fluid viscosity and all other factors. And to be honest, there could be no general answer to this question, as usually you will need to renew adaptation of the transmission only when you change transmission fluid completely and your transmission fluid was very old. However, it also depends a lot on your car model and your transmission model, so here you should trust your mechanic. So let's sum up all the information in this video. You should change transmission fluid in any type of transmission approximately every 50–60,000 kilometers. For the cars with CVT transmission, you should do it every 30–40,000 kilometers. Also, you should do it more often if you use your car in some critical conditions. If you have a high mileage car without any history of transmission fluid change, then maybe it's better just to wait until the transmission would be broken. And maybe in such case, without maintenance, it would last longer. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and subscribe for more about cars maintenance and non-boring cars. Thank you and see you soon. Alright, now if you click one of these two videos, I hope you will enjoy them as well. Thank you.